interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you some breaking news. There's been reports all over the area of something crazy going on, something big. People's homes, their minds even, are being taken over by something called, what is it they're calling it? They're calling it Bad Movie Debate.
Hey, nerds.
Such a loser.
Oh my god. All right, sweet. So starting off great. Welcome back to Bad Movie Debate with me, Jacob Babb. I'm your beautiful host. And this week I have with me the even more beautiful Auston Piercey. Say hi.
Hi.
You nervous?
Yes, it's a lot of pressure.
No, it's not. It's not no pressure. It's fine. Here's some less pressure. Tell them what movie we're gonna do.
John Tucker Must Die.
Ooh, John Tucker Must Die. Going back to those early 2000 high school movies.
Yes. Rom-com.
Well,
early 2000s high school rom-com is what we decided the genre.
Well,
or comedy, or both.
Well, my top 5 is a list of high school movies because the like early 2000s high school rom-com is a very short well.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But first, before we talk about our favorites that aren't this one, unless it is one, we're gonna go over some scores. As always, gotta let people know how people think. So, John Tucker Must Die. Rotten Tomatoes critic score 27%, which is pretty fucking bad. Yeah, that's some dog shit. The audience, though, 69%. Nice.
I'm on the audience side with this one.
Oh, well, we'll talk about why you're wrong here in a minute. IMDb 5.7, so pretty down the middle there. Metacritic 41%, and their user score 5.7. Interestingly enough, so the powers that be do not think it's very good.
5.7 out of 10.
Yeah. So failing.
Higher than 50%.
Well, but you gotta remember Rotten Tomatoes 27 out of 100. That's pretty bad. So here's some reviews and some choice quotes, a good one and a bad one. So we're gonna start with the bad one, and I absolutely love this. This is Stella Papamichael from BBC. So BBC.
Papa Michael. We're gonna listen to something.
P-A-P-A Michael.
Okay.
You don't trust?
I'm just saying, who's gonna put their name as that and want anyone to listen to what they say?
Well, she didn't. I don't think she chose her last name. Those are kind of just given.
Oh.
That's the woman's name, Stella Papamichael.
Oh, God.
Oh, you know, it's from the BBC, a very credible news source over in England.
I take it back. I didn't know that was her name. I thought.
No, yeah.
It was just kind of some kind of a weird.
All right, so you're already coming out shooting.
Yikes.
Take no prisoners with Piercey over here.
Sorry, Papa
right.
Michael.
Well, you're probably gonna not want to say that since you've already alluded to that you like it. Her quote that I loved is, "John Tucker will surely die and be quickly forgotten." She hated this fucking movie. What are your thoughts?
Is that the whole quote?
That's the whole quote. That's the best. That was the best quote in her review. That shit is hilarious.
Well, that's her opinion. I disagree.
Well,
I have not forgotten about John Tucker in all however many years it's been since. When did it come out? 2005? I don't know. I didn't write it down.
I think it's 2007, 2008. Yeah. Regardless, a long time ago. And you still remember, so Miss Papa Michael is just getting made fun of for her last name for no reason. All right, so then Kyle Smith for the New York Post, though, he said, quote, "As tasty as a quart of s'mores, John Tucker Must Die is a slumber party classic that belongs on the same shelf as Bring It On and 10 Things I Hate About You."
See, that quote actually has some things to back it up.
Oh, so that has some depth.
It talks about s'mores, so it makes you feel cozy just thinking about it.
Yeah, but I wouldn't consider John Tucker Must Die a cozy movie.
It's a cozy slumber party movie. He just said it.
He didn't say. He said slumber party classic, which exactly. I mean, yeah, but 10 Things I Hate About You and Bring It On deserves to be on the same shelf.
Well, I hate 10 Things I Hate About You, and you already know that, so...
Okay, well, I guess we'll go over my top 5. No particular order, but since it's already been mentioned, fucking 10 Things I Hate About You is one of my favorite high school comedies with a little bit of romance in there. That's one of mine. And then I also have Superbad. Superbad is great. It's one of the best high school set movies ever. There's a little bit of rom because the whole reason they're trying to go to the party and they're on the whole journey that is the movie is so that they can hook up with these girls. So it's rommy.
Kind of feel like Superbad isn't the same genre we're talking about.
Okay, well, again, the very specific genre that you laid out for us is a short list.
Okay.
And then I also had, oh my gosh, what else did I have? 10 Things I Hate About You, of course. Superbad, of course. Forgot to write these down.
You didn't write them down. Wow, you're so unprepared for your own podcast.
Well, I have a bunch of other notes about other stuff, so it's okay. I think Bring It On was actually one of mine. That's a good high school movie.
Mean Girls?
Oh yeah, Mean Girls. Definitely. That was on there. I have other important notes. It's fine. Whatever. There's my list. It's only 4. Share your amazing list then.
Okay.
Miss Thang, all prepared and shit.
I am prepared.
I know. You're just bad at this.
You know I like to
keep
take
listening.
notes.
Please keep listening. I'm not bad at this. I just forgot one thing and I'm being attacked for it. I forgot to write down one thing.
When you invite me on your podcast, expect to be attacked.
Wow. Okay. Well, I guess I did sign up for that. Anyway, please share.
Okay. Top 5s. 2000s high school comedy, rom-com, whatever it is. She's the Man. And these really no particular order. They're all just going to depend on which one I've watched last. So She's the Man was the first one that came to mind. Mean Girls. John Tucker is on my list. John Tucker Must Die.
Wow.
The Hot Chick and Fired Up.
Wait, what's that spell?
F-U. Fired Up. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's not bad. We could talk about that one though too. But
we're not.
But we're not. That was a good one, but people don't like that one either a lot. But it's okay. Okay, so Mean Girls, both of our lists. That's great.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's pretty different because you have this movie that we're talking about on your top. So you think Bring It On and 10 Things I Hate About You are not even on the shelf.
Okay, so I've never seen Bring It On all the way through, so I can't comment.
Which is so shocking.
And 10 Things I Hate About You, whatever the actress's name is just like kind of really annoying to me, and so I don't like to watch that movie. I think that she's a bitch. And I don't like her.
Well, I mean, fair enough. So is it her voice?
What's his name? Heath Ledger does not. He deserves better.
Okay, but it is a movie. They're not actually together. You
his character deserves better.
Okay, I was going to say, it's not a documentary. Of course he does, because he's amazing. Was amazing, R.I.P. But I mean, she does exactly what she needs to in that movie, and it's great, but it's fine.
Anyways.
He makes up for it.
Anyway. I feel like I sound like a bitch now. I'm just like
just
attacking all of these comments.
Fucking Papa Michael, his stupid name. Fuck that bitch. Like, you're
sorry.
It's okay. You're just getting ready. You're just getting heated. But it's okay. So back to John Tucker.
Yeah.
So you like it, obviously. So you love it.
So all of the movies I listed, I like all of them because none of them take themselves too seriously. I don't think that they're trying to be anything they're not. Like, it's this movie in particular, it's not going to be winning any awards. Like, it's not anything crazy. It's just fun. And yeah, like I said, it doesn't take itself too seriously. It plays on the cliches. Part of like what makes it a movie that people want to watch, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And I think that all the movies of my list, and like most of yours, are the same, like the genre as a whole. And that's kind of the point of the whole genre.
I mean, yeah, but some can be good and some can be bad. Like this one, John Tucker, which is not very good compared to the other ones on both of our lists. You know what I'm saying? Well, tell me something that you didn't like then.
We're already going into what I didn't like.
Yeah, I want to know what you didn't like.
Well,
Because I want to say something that I liked.
okay. You start with something that you liked, because the part that I didn't like is towards the end of the movie. Is like a big part of it.
Well, it doesn't matter.
But it's kind of going like it's skipping a whole bunch of things that you could say about it.
Okay, then I'll ask you again at the end.
I don't know.
All this can be gone.
It's not next on my notes, so you're messing it up.
All right, well, we'll just keep all this in and we'll just come back. We'll circle back. All right, fine.
What is your favorite part?
What I liked is I liked the humor. It does make me laugh. Like, it genuinely does make me laugh, and I think it's and I do think it's hilarious at times, for sure. Does that mean it's a good movie? No. You know what I mean? But
I think the audience would disagree with you.
I mean, yeah, but...
And I would disagree with you.
But obviously you're disagreeing with me. You're being very mean to everyone. Not to me, just to
I apologize to everyone but you.
Okay.
But no, I think that John Tucker is up there with the classics of the 2000s movies. It's a very nostalgic movie. I feel like for a lot of us, I mean, me especially, like you, like everyone our age.
Mm-hmm.
And I do feel a lot of pressure going into it, because I feel like this movie. So I looked up some reviews as well.
Oh, what'd they say? Tell me.
I don't have any on here, but like the scores, and it was almost 80% like in favor of this movie on Amazon Prime, like of the people who watched it.
Well, yeah, the audience,
like 80%
the
of the audience
likes it more than the critics on everything.
And then 70%, about 70% for Rotten Tomatoes for the viewers. Like 70%, 80%, like that's a very high score.
It is from the audience, but audiences also like the Fast and Furious movies, and those are garbage too. You know what I mean? So like,
who do they make the movies for? The audience. That's all that matters, is if the audience likes it. Who cares if it's actually like,
I mean, yeah,
in your words, a good movie?
It's not my words.
Or in the critics' words.
It's not necessarily even the critics' words. It's just like, yes, it's fun, and yes, people enjoy it, and I enjoy it at times too, but like, is it made well? And does it make sense? And stuff like that. Which brings me to one of my points.
Okay.
Is I think the whole thing should be in fucking college. Like, I went to a really small grade school and high school and stuff, but like, homeboy is just like straight up like macking on all these girls in front of everybody, in front of the other girls too. No one sees it. There's no rumors that float around, because like all the cheerleaders know that she's dating, so there's no chatter that comes across. In college, it's so much easier to tell this story because there's so many more people that won't cross paths. This is just their different cliques, so they don't hang out. Like, it's kind of a stretch to believe that none of them would know until they get in that fight.
So I think they said it in high school, because this movie is literally like made for high schoolers.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I understand that.
Is it realistic to like any high school in like real world? No. I mean,
no.
But it's a movie.
But yeah, I would argue that Mean Girls and Superbad, a little bit. Superbad's a little bit more of a stretch. Like, is more realistic. And like Mean Girls, like, girls are mean in high school. They can be.
Mm-hmm.
Could be fugly or whatever they call each other and stuff. And then I never did anything super fun and intense and dramatic as Superbad, but I've had wild nights of trying to get to a party and hiccups along the way and stuff. It's an over exaggeration.
Just like this is an over exaggeration.
I mean, yeah, but just the way they put the exaggeration is where I have the issue. Because like, there's literally that one scene where they're all three of the girls that he's with they're in like the big common area. They're literally like 20 yards away from each other, and he comes up and is like, "Oh, hey baby," like to all three of them. And the most he does to check is look over his fucking shoulder once. And he's like, okay, cool. Like,
Don't worry, though. No one's suspicious because his dad doesn't let him date during basketball season.
I understand that, but
so it covers.
Everybody's watching him mac on these 3 girls. Like, and people are staring at him because he's built like a Greek god. Mm-hmm. He, quote unquote, runs the school. Like, they say that and does for the most part. There's got to be at least one person who's watching him the whole time. Going, that's interesting. Maybe they're just minding their own fucking business, but it's high school, so I doubt that they would just mind their own fucking business if they saw this and they'd be like, ooh, and oh my god, I just saw that, blah, 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 and then rumors start, you know what I mean? It took them getting into a physical altercation for them to all realize, which I think is, I don't know, like, again, an over-exaggeration of it, yes, but I think it's a bad way. It, like, doesn't make sense in my head the way it plays out, because it's like, you know what I mean? They're just so close to each other.
So your point was that you think it should have been set in college.
Yes.
So that they would be less likely to know about each other.
Yeah, and then you come up with a way to where they're all forced to interact, and then they realize what it is. Because it's all based on, like, that's like the vegan hippie girl, and she's never going to hang out with the popular cheerleader, who's also never going to hang out with the, like, student council president go-getter. Like, they're all in different cliques, but they're all in the same high school, and there's just like such a smaller group of people to come across, you know what I mean? So like the rumor mill of high school would make it just, I just don't believe that it would be impossible for them to know, you know what I mean? But in college, there's someone down the street at UTC right now doing this exact thing. And it's going great because he saw John Tucker and he was like, yo, this should be in college. I'm going to do this in college.
Wow, so you're saying that this movie is like an inspiration.
Yeah, see, that is actually one of my other points. I think it sets a bad precedent.
In a bad way.
I think it sets a bad precedent because the whole time they're like, John Tucker, you're the fucking man, bro. But we'll get into that here in a little bit.
I mean, we could go ahead and get into that because you asked me about my least favorite part.
Okay.
And like that kind of gets into it. Hang on, I wrote down some things that I didn't like because I knew you'd ask me. The first thing was that yes, there are a few like continuity errors. That's the word, right? Yeah, like there's a few, and
don't say continuity like I did one time when I was like working on a film set for a day and get made fun of.
Yikes.
Continuity.
Yeah, so I'm right. A few of those errors, but like you don't notice them until you start looking for them, so I don't think it affects the movie as a whole.
What give me an example of one.
Okay.
I'm actually not 100% sure. I believe that they are in there, but
so when I was looking on IMDb, they had like so many just like little things about like her hair was supposed to be on the other side in that scene.
Yeah, there's a lot of like, did you notice?
Yeah, but the main thing is that like at the birthday party scene towards the end of the movie,
talk about the birthday scene
like here in that video that the girls made and they like put together to play. Like they have footage of like of things that happened that like it didn't show them actually being there, or it was from like a different angle than they were originally.
So happy
or
you
it's
brought this up.
Yeah, it's kind of like okay,
because I did notice that was one of my big, are you kidding me?
Yeah, it was like okay, we're just gonna look past this.
They straight up have film that's from the movie when he's talking to her about what and gives her the watch to be like, will you be my girlfriend?
Yeah.
It's literally the shot from the scene we saw maybe 5 minutes before. And he's looking at it and what does he say? He leans into her, into Brittany Snow's character Kate, and says, oh, this is so cool. Not, how the fuck? Where the fuck did this footage come from?
Yeah, because he doesn't care because it's giving him more attention and
I understand,
making
but like
him more popular.
But like to get that shot that's from the movie, the camera would have to be right there, right next to Brittany Snow.
Yeah.
So like there's no way she could have gotten that with her little camcorder on her hip like she's seen doing, which also, again, how the fuck does he not notice that one of the girls he just broke up with is literally filming him right there with nobody in between them?
Because like, he's broken up with her. He's done with her. He's not gonna pay attention to her.
She's like 5 blockers away from him, and she's just like shooting right at his face.
Yeah, I mean that was one of my things that I was like, okay, like this is it's whatever. It's not the best.
I remember when we were watching it, I started to laugh, and you were at that moment, and you were like, "What?" And I was like, "Nothing." Because I was like, "That's going in the fucking notes."
Yeah,
because that is ridiculous.
But wait, I'm not done with with what I didn't like it. So yeah, you were saying, you've mentioned that it doesn't set a good example.
Oh yeah, I got a lot to say to that.
So I agree with that. I don't think that it does. Like the whole end of the scene, like set the scene, get everyone's memory jog. So she, Kate, the main character there, she gets up, she confesses to everyone, like after the video is shut off, she's like, I've been lying. And then the other girls come up and they comfort her, but then they all get drinks thrown at them and like, oh, you're ruining the party, like get out of here. But then John Tucker is like, actually, she's right. Like, I've been lying too. And they're like, we don't care. We love you. You're the man.
Yeah, they're literally like, you're hooking up with every girl in the school. You're the man, bro. And he's like, no, that's not cool. And they're like, no, dude, it's sick. And he just shrugs it off.
Yeah, so he like kind of like fake tried to own up to it and is like, whatever it is.
I mean, I do think
Tucker.
that he was trying to be genuine, but then like as soon as they were like, nah, it's sick, he was like, yeah, it is pretty cool. Like he gave up on it immediately. Like
I mean, it's not a great message to be like for women everywhere out there, but
or for dudes, like don't treat women like that.
True.
It's not even. Well, we'll talk about the bad message it sends for women here in a minute because I do have some. It does set a bad message for women too.
But that is kind of part of the whole part of the movie is that, you know, he does whatever he wants and he's idolized for it. Like that that is his character. That's who, even at the beginning of the movie, like we know him to be. Like that's just kind of
exactly
who he is.
Exactly. And that's part of the reason why I'm like on it, because it's just like he just can do no wrong and he's a Greek god and stuff, and like as soon as he gets a chance to be like grow, he just doesn't. You know what I mean? He's just like, oh yeah, I guess it is pretty sick. And what do they do to resolve it? They have a food fight.
Okay, I love the food fight. I love a good food fight.
Okay, but like, who actually has ever been in a food fight in high school?
Probably no one, but everyone wants to have one. I know that I saw food fights. You got this one. What is it? Max Keeble's Big Move. Yeah. The best food fight ever.
That is definitely the best food fight.
Does it not just make you like, oh man, like it looks like they're having so much fun?
I mean, yeah, it looks sick as fuck, but like, I don't know a single person who's ever, but like all these movies about like school, whether it's middle school or high school, always have food fights, but like it never actually happened in real life. And if it did, it wasn't in my experience.
Yeah, but it's not meant to be real life. It's meant to be like
I mean, yes, this is true, but again,
anyway,
but it falls into those cliches and those tropes.
Yeah, which is kind of the whole point, remember?
But it doesn't execute it like as well as other ones, like some of the ones on my list and stuff. You know what I mean?
The food fight scene or the
all of the tropiness. And then that's something I wanted to bring up is I don't like the characters. The only character who has any depth is Kate. Is Brittany Snow, the main character. Because then you have the other girls who, let's see, you have a popular cheerleader girl. Is one of the girls that he's dating. And that's all she is a popular cheerleader. And then you have the student council straight A student. And that's all she is. And then you have the like super tropey stereotypical thing for the 2000s, the vegan slut. Literally every single time she opens her mouth, she's saying, don't eat meat or something very sexual or some kind of innuendo. And then the other girl is like, you know, oh, I'm just making my list and doing my notes. That's all she talks about. And then the cheerleader in the same scene is like, I'm taking estrogen so I can look good and be hot because I'm hot cheerleader. Like unless they're only when they're talking about John, are they talking about anything besides like their basic shallow level character thing? And that's frustrating.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think that's the point. Like, there's not like many deep characters. It's not meant to be like thought about, like analyzed. I mean, sure, like they could have done something else with them, but like that's part of it. Like they're all cliches, and that is their purpose for being in the movie.
Yes, but
like I think it works.
But they can grow, and part of the thing is of well, I was saying it was a bad message for girls too, is at the end of the movie, nobody changes. John Tucker still dates multiple women. He just tells them now. still not cool. And you can see when he's telling the two girls, they're both like, what? Like, they don't seem very happy with it. And then the three other girls, like, as soon as she's talking to the other Tucker, the brother, at the end, and it's like, ooh, so cute, they're like, how are we gonna ruin his life? Like, what are we gonna do? Like, how are we, like, I got a game plan, like, here's what we're gonna do. And she's like, let's just hang out. Like they are immediately ready to do this whole thing.
No, not to ruin his life, to like get them together and like.
No, it wasn't. No, they're talking about like how to do it again. Like that's what they say. That is what they say. That is the tone and like the kind of things that they are saying. The only person who changes is Brittany Snow, and the only thing that is different about her is she's a legend. It's like that's it. Freeze frame. She became a legend. Freeze frame. Cut to black. And then the male teachers are all wearing thongs. They have that little joke at the end. That's the only people who changed.
The teacher.
The teacher's wearing the male teacher is wearing thongs, and and during that point she said, "Oh, and if you're planning on trying this out yourself, like watch out for like the unforeseen consequences." And then like they're all bending over and they're like,
the end credit scene.
Yeah, but she says if you're planning on doing this like at home, like yourself, she doesn't say don't do this. She says, oh yeah, if you thought this was sick as fuck and you want to ruin a man's life, do what we did. Like they never say like no one ever grows from it and stuff. And like that's not good story because no one grows. You know what I mean? The only thing that changes is she's a legend. Well, that's how it sounds. That's how she says it. And then it's freeze frame, cut to black. So that makes it, but you can do that like in Superbad and in Mean Girls. Like it has all those tropey things you want in a high school movie, but they grow and they become different people and they learn from their journey and stuff. You don't have that. You don't have that in here. So I'm saying you can make an amazing and like funny high school movie, but there can be like the basic depth of like characters growing, because that's usually what makes a compelling story is characters grow through what they go through, but they don't.
Sure.
And that's frustrating. It's a bummer. I want them at the end to they all hang out now and they're all friends, so there's a meshing of the cliques, which is nice. But other than that and her becoming a legend, like
I do think that the three girls and Kate, well, obviously you said that you thought that she grew. I don't think that's really part of the movie, but I do think that the other girls did as well. There was actually, I wrote down some of my favorite quotes. Where are they? It's a very quotable
movie too. That is another thing that I like.
But there was there's my two favorite lines. One of them's at the beginning and one of them's at the end, and it's all from Kate or Brittany Snow, talking to the other girls. And the first one was at when they first are all kind of introduced and lumped together in the volleyball game.
Oh, in the volleyball game.
Yeah. And she was like, he's cheating on all of you, and instead of taking it out on him, you're beating the shit out of each other. And so that's like her being like, what are you doing? Like, wake up kind of thing. Yeah, like, why
are you mad at each other?
Yeah. And then she says the same kind of thing at the very end whenever she comes back from her date, and they're like, oh, you actually like him now. Like, that's not okay. Like, you can't like him. We have to stick to our plan. Like, and so, obviously that shows that they haven't changed at all and that they are just still obsessed with him, because that's what she says. She says either obsessed with destroying him or obsessed with being with him. But either way, it's all about him. So I think that in her saying that, it acknowledges that, none of these characters changed at all. It's still all about John Tucker, and that, that's her telling them that, they need to move on and they need to learn something.
Yeah, no, and you're right. And that scene is good, because that's, kind of one of the big climaxes, or, one of the mini climaxes to the big climax. And But that's the thing is they grow for a second and they get over their bullshit, and then by the end they're like, oh, okay, how are we going to take down the other Tucker?
See, I don't think that they meant that at all. They were just being girls. They're like, oh my god, you have a crush on him. Let's go talk about it and let's.
No, that's not what they. That's not
what did they say?
I don't know exactly, but
you can't even say.
No, because Kate goes like let's just hang out this weekend.
Yeah, because
No, she's saying let's just hang out this weekend, as in let's not
talk about boys.
No, she's like that's what hanging out would be. Would be talking about boys and stuff. She's saying let's just hang out and not hatch a new scheme. Like that is the tone of what they are saying. They're all talking over each other, but that's what they're doing.
No, they're just excited for her that she's actually found someone that she likes. She never liked John.
Well, she did for a little bit.
No, that's actually something that I wrote down that I think.
Okay, because that is an interesting perspective, because I've always been she falls in love with him for a second. She's super into him for a second.
No, I think she starts to sympathize with him for a minute. But I don't think that she ever really wanted to be with him. Because she always, you see throughout the whole movie, she's got her little thing with the brother. And, that's kind of been, if she had been herself, quote, herself, and not, gone along with the other's plan to do whatever, scheme to kill John Tucker.
Yeah, he must
socially.
Die. Socially.
Socially.
So... You're right. It definitely would have been cool for if this was real life, for Kate to just be herself and end up with the other Tucker, whatever his name is.
Well, no, we wouldn't have had a movie then.
I know, but did they ever say his name?
Yeah, his name. I wrote it down somewhere.
Okay,
because I did say that I liked their LOL. I just wrote other Tucker.
That's all I have. Sorry, bro.
He does. His name is Scott.
That does not ring a single fucking bell. I watched this movie twice in the past week or two, and I don't. I mean, it probably is. I genuinely have no idea. But anyway,
do your research.
Shut the fuck up. Are you saying that you like their chemistry together
in chemistry class?
Because I do. That's something I wrote down. That was that's so stupid. They literally have chemistry together, and it's
But is it stupid or is it stupid funny? Which is the point?
I think it's more I know that one of your main points is not supposed to be deep, but that's just holding my hand. I get it.
I mean, it's silly.
They could have taken any class, you know what I mean, and the point would have come across. But they obviously specifically did chemistry to be silly.
Yeah, because I think it's funny.
I mean,
it's hee.
Exactly.
It's stupid funny. This whole movie is stupid funny.
It is stupid funny, but that was a little too on the nose, in my opinion, and stuff. They could have had Spanish. They could have had math. You know what I mean?
Sure, it's kind of irrelevant.
Exactly, but the fact that they picked something so on the nose, I'm okay, it's just silly.
Okay, anyways, I never actually got to my point about why I don't think either of them like each other.
Oh, apologies. I apologize. Continue.
But yeah, so I don't think that Kate ever really liked John Tucker, and I don't think that John Tucker ever really liked her because, I mean, he never knew her. She was obviously playing a part to go along with, the plan that the girls had made, and he... the whole point to that was him wanting what he can't have. So she was playing super hard to get. Honestly, why would any girl or why would any guy want to be with a girl that just straight up ignored him so much? But that's what he wants.
Because he's the king.
Exactly. He never liked her.
It's about the chase.
Exactly. Yeah. And he never really liked her as a person, but he liked how he was seen with her. He wanted to be more popular. He wanted to be seen with the new girl. He made her cool. He did that, and that's why I think that when they break up and have that whole big thing, and they go back to school the next day, it's oh, we're cool, whatever. There's not really any hard feelings because I don't think that there was really any feelings to begin with.
Okay, so you took the immediate reconciliation and we're all just going to move on as he wasn't in love with the real Kate because she was not being.
Well, he's only in love with himself. We all know that.
I mean, obviously, but you're saying that reconciliation is so short and everything
because neither of them really
she was never into him, and he was never into who she actually is because she was being a combo of all three of them, popular, slutty, and smart, and they were making her, and
really we don't even see any genuine interactions with them. So the only reason he would like her, the only really reason that we see that he would like her is just for his own personal gain in the popularity of the school or whatever.
That's why he must die.
Yeah.
Because he's a piece of shit. Yeah. But see, because I took that whole thing with the immediate reconciliation. So they he tries to, at the end of the party scene, he tries to, be like, he tries to grow, and then he shrugs it off. After they're like, no, dude, you're the man. And then they have a food fight. And it's so much fun. And then we cut to what they eventually say 3 days later. So within 3 days, they're just going to be able to walk up to each other and have a quick little chat and be cool. And then everybody's just going to pretend like nothing happened. That is such a fast, like, falling out of, like, the climax of the movie. Like, the falling action, it's like a straight jumping off of a cliff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just such a quick, like, oh, okay, yeah, well, see you, we're cool, like, bye. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, it's just like all this shit. They try to ruin this man's life, and he's just like, yeah, I was kind of a dick too. Anyway,
well, yeah, so their plan doesn't work.
I understand.
Like, it doesn't work. The whole thing blows up at the party.
Yes, but what I'm
like, everyone knows, like, oh yeah, this is what they were trying to do. She lied. He's like, yeah, I lied too. I lie a lot. Like, you guys all already know that. And then it's like, well, whatever. Nothing's going to change. Let's just throw food at each other and just, like, move on.
Okay, cool. But it's kind of fucked up that he just shakes it off because they drug him without his consent. They literally put estrogen into his, like, muscle milk stuff and change his body chemistry. And, like, he's
he was
like,
fine.
That is so fucked up. Do a little gender swap, and it's guys. Like, you can't make this movie about guys ruining a girl's life because she was doing the same thing.
True.
Like, you can't do that. And if they were like, oh yeah, we'll give her testosterone so she'll grow a mustache, ha ha ha, the movie would be shut down. So it would be canceled.
There's also a lot of things that movies in real life, whatever, that, like, women and men have very different. Like, if you're
sure, but like
there's just certain things that you don't do.
You don't drug anybody.
Well, yeah, but like as
wait, are you trying to say that it's okay for men to be drugged by women, but it's not okay for men to drug women?
It's not okay that seems like to drug anyone. I will go on record saying,
public service announcement.
No drugs.
Austin's pre-apologizing
that are not that are
for her statements in this episode.
Not apologizing for anything. I don't think they should drug people.
I know. I think that
if this movie was made not in the 2000s, that we wouldn't have had that scene. We wouldn't have had a lot of the scenes that happened. It definitely wouldn't be made. It's not especially because politically correct movie.
Because after they drug him and he's at the big game, the guy they're playing the basketball game, and dude is pushing on him, and he's like rubbing his pec because his man pec's hurt because of the estrogen, and he's like getting all sad and defensive, and he's like, oh, it's so much pressure, I need chocolate, like, and then he starts crying, and his coach comes up and calls him a pansy ass in front of the whole school, and he like freaks out and cries and runs away with his hands like so it's like bad that they drugged him, and then everyone makes fun of him for being emotional, except for like those 2 or 3 girls who end up being like, that's so manly that you're emotional, which is a good message. Mm-hmm. It's manly to be emotional.
I think that whole thing is just playing on like more stereotypes.
Well, it's the gender norms stuff that's like, and it's like, I understand the time that it came out. That was like the funniest shit. This movie also uses the R word in one specific scene. It comes off pretty funny from back in the day, I'm not gonna lie, but it is not cool to say, and they shouldn't have used it in the first place.
This movie, any movie made back then, like, well, not any movie, but like a lot of movies
most comedy
that were
movies
made
2009 and lower had some very
wouldn't be made these
cool
days.
Stuff,
yeah,
so. At the time, yeah.
But we can look back and we can appreciate it and be like, I'm so glad they made this movie now, because we'd never get something like this.
I mean, yeah, again, for the time, there was absolutely nothing wrong with it. And I mean, and I watched it and I thought it was hilarious, like what was happening. But you know what I mean? It's not a good movie. Like, that's not great. We don't love that. But so that's not great, in my opinion. Oh, and here's another one. When they quote unquote give him herpes, they and he gets the award, like, They make a joke with the award scene, because the teenagers who have herpes, it's like,
yeah, I don't like that scene. I think it's really gross.
It's purposely really gross. And then the girl hugs him, and he's like, oh, because it's like they're like her her bumps are like oozing out of her. Yeah, it's this.
Anyways, yes, don't like that scene.
What's what I'm saying? They flare it up, like no pun intended. They flare it up, to make it, like to make it icky and gross, and like that is like so not cool and stuff. So there's a lot of that, and I think that's problematic. Again, at the time, that was just comedy movies. Like it was totally cool to make fun of stuff
which
like
is
that.
why I don't think that you can like bash on it for that when every movie in the era like has those kind of same like faux pas that would be now, you know.
I understand, but okay, I understand that, but let's go back to they should have made him not manly in a different way. Like they could have made fun of the gender norm stuff, but drugging him.
Sure.
Like they could have done it. Because you know what's scarier to a man than not being a man than being manly? Getting fucking drugged without knowing it. Like that is fucking scary. Like that's worse than being like looking all sensitive and not manly. You know what I mean? So I think they could have done that differently. Because I think even for them, the drugging part is like shouldn't have been allowed and been cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
but even you said it was like funny. It's a funny scene.
No, I mean like for the time with him being all like wham, being a quote unquote pansy ass, as his coach calls him. Like, yeah, I thought that part was funny, but like the drugging part never sat right with me. I was like, that seems like a really intense thing for these high school girls to be doing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Sure.
Well, you like the show Euphoria, so like you're like everything is fair game in high school in nowadays because you like that show. And they do all kinds of fucked up shit. So
yeah, I mean,
it's a different perspective, I guess.
It's completely, they have nothing to do with each other.
Yeah, but
different drugs.
You get what I'm. Yeah, they're taking them willingly, from what I've heard.
Anyway,
you know what would have been a better movie? I have this written down. Is if they did a thriller and it was from John's perspective. Because like they're drugging him and they're like recording him like he like if it was like a like
you want that scene to be from his point of view.
No, I mean like the whole movie was like John's perspective, like his experience, like he was probably terrified because all this fucking crazy shit was going on. So what you do is instead of it being nice and bright and stuff, you have like a darker like color tone and stuff, and like you like shoot it like it's a thriller movie because he's like, why am I feeling this way? Why am I thinking this way? Like why am I like? Does that girl have a camera? Like, why am I being recorded? Like, you know what I mean? Like, make it a thriller movie.
Yeah, but like like you don't see him having any kind of like stress at all through the whole movie. He's just kind of like, oh, whatever.
Exactly, but I have to imagine.
That's weird.
I have to imagine off camera, like when we don't see him, like he's like freaking out.
He's a dumbass.
He is a dumbass. So
he's not thinking too deep about it.
I just think that would be a lot more fun of a movie, in my opinion.
Nah, this movie, although you go back to who it was written for. Teenage girls,
right? I mean,
they wouldn't watch that movie, and it wouldn't have as high of an audience score. It would probably have an even lower score than it has now if they did it your way.
So you think my idea is terrible?
Yeah.
And Jacob's idea must die.
Yeah.
Okay.
I might start scheming.
Cool. Maybe I'll make that what? Wait, what? Oh God. All right. Well, that's not great. Okay, going back to like the like silly little things like the chemistry thing. When she has her boob cam and it gets wet and they kiss and it shocks her, it's like, oh, come on.
It's funny. It's like silly and
there's an electricity here.
Exactly. Like, they have a spark,
I know,
Jacob.
I know, but it's a literal spark.
Yes.
And I get it, but it's just...
It's funny.
I think it's too goofy.
The whole movie is goofy.
But I'm not watching a goofy movie or an extremely goofy movie. You know what I mean? Like, it's too on the nose is what I'm saying. Like, you can do those kind of things like you can do, like, the meet cute, like, the typical trope stuff, but do them not so, like, in your face literal.
No, that is the point. Everything in this movie is very in your face. Like...
Oh, wait, so you're arguing...
do it on purpose.
So are you arguing that this is a satire?
Yeah.
This is a satire?
Absolutely. It's making fun of everything.
This is a satire of teen... comedy movies.
Like I mean, not like you're thinking like not another teen movie. No,
that's just a raunchy parody. Satire is
no, I
parody,
think so. I think that the whole movie is like poking fun at stereotypes and cliches and like playing them up.
So Huh. Okay, so you're saying...
I mean, it's the whole point of the movie.
No, but so what you're saying is that that it actually is really deep because it's a satire and that's why they have chemistry together.
Oh my god.
They have...
No, this is not a deep movie.
Okay, well that's what if you're saying if you're arguing that it's a satire of it, then that there has to put some thought. They're like there has to be thought into that chemistry thing. Like, oh, just put them in chemistry. Like, oh yeah, let the boob cam shocking, shocking kiss, electricity and stuff. Like they're doing that specific and doing stuff so on the nose like that. Because that's the point of the movie is to make fun of how stupid these moments are.
Yeah.
Because that's how stupid the people who make these movies thinks the audience is who watch them. Like that, is that what you're saying?
I mean, I don't know if it's gone that far, but I think that it's definitely the point of the movie to poke fun at all of these little things, and I think it's done on purpose, whether you want to call that deep.
No, if they're poking fun at the genre as a whole by doing these the chemistry thing and the shocking kiss thing.
I think that is the genre. I think that all of the movies have that, and it's over exaggerated, and that's what makes them funny. It's...
I mean, not all of them though. They don't all do that. They all have the tropes, but there's a difference between having them and making fun of them. Having the tropes and then making fun of them.
I think this movie is definitely making fun of a lot of it.
Okay, because I wouldn't say Mean Girls or Superbad do that. They have the tropes, but they do them in a different, more of a different kind of a way. And so they shake it up by doing the same thing, but doing it differently. You know what I mean? This one is straight up making fun of those tropes in the genre, which makes it a satire, which means it is deep, which makes me like it more.
Oh, looks like I won a debate. Bye, everyone.
Whoa. I said I may like it more now. We're not done. We're not done.
How long have we been talking?
50 minutes.
Yeah.
No, but then plus the 10 minutes of whatever, so it's not that bad. Let's see.
I think we've heard all we need to hear.
Oh no.
We'll talk about the soundtrack. I love the soundtrack, and I know that you did not. Yes,
that was my next note I was looking for. I do not like the soundtrack, which is ironic because it's pop punk as fuck. Mm-hmm. Which is usually pretty great. But they do All American Rejects, Dirty Little Secret. They use that one twice.
Yeah, because it's literally the theme song of the whole movie.
Yeah, no, it is, of course.
The movie is a theme movie for that song.
It might as well be one long music video for it. Yeah, exactly. It's awesome in that regard. But every other song is a pop punk remix of popular songs, which is frustrating because they talk so much about old music and then we never actually hear any of that old music. And then we hear time after time, but pop punk, and I'm like, how dare you do this to me in Cyndi Lauper like that? You don't pop punk cover time after time. It's perfect the way it is. You know what I mean?
I think you
have
to
so many of those, and it's I get the time that it came out. Pop punk was still all the rage. Still love pop punk to this day.
You have to think about the audience that they're making the movie for.
I know, but
I loved it. I don't think I would have liked it as much if the music wasn't what it was.
The All American Rejects had to be in there. Dirty Little Secret had to be in there. It would have been stupid if it wasn't. I agree. But that was a new song. Or a few years old song.
Yeah.
And it was perfect for it. But then they have pop punk remixes of Time After Time and other popular songs, but they talk constantly about old movie or old music. That's what the other Tucker Scott, quote unquote, whatever
that's really his name,
whatever the fuck his name is, and Kate, they're always talking about old music, and we never hear any of that old music.
You hear it in the car.
I was just going to say, except for that 5 seconds when he puts Elvis Costello on there, and she breaks character for a second.
Because Scott and all their chemistry, he is the one that actually gave John that music to play. And so if Scott was the main character of this movie, I'm sure we would hear a lot more of the classics, but he's not.
Oh, okay. See, now you're saying this isn't a deep movie, but you're tiptoeing into something deep there. The only time we actually hear the music is when she's genuinely being herself because she genuinely likes that music, but Scott's the one, quote unquote Scott, is the one who gave him the music to play. So it's a signal to be
because she's liked him.
That's who she should be with and should be focusing on. And all the pop punk stuff is the illusion of how great John Tucker is. It's a great song, but it's pop punk. It's made for this setting and stuff like that. Yeah. See, that is deep. you're gonna need to start walking back this. It's not a deep movie because you've brought up two pretty compelling arguments of like why it is.
Well,
a little
all
bit
of them
deeper.
have made you like it more. So
I mean, it does. I didn't
won
think
the
about it
debate
like
already.
that. I don't think you have one.
But no, I'm not going to take back that I said I don't think this is a deep movie because I think for the audience, like it's not. Maybe what I should say is that this movie is not meant to be overanalyzed. It's meant to be watched and enjoyed as a funny, stupid movie.
Yeah, but
whether the people who created it like deeply analyzed it and thought about all these little things going into it, as they should, because like they're making a movie. But like as the audience, this isn't the type of movie that you're going to sit there and you're going to like overthink and analyze all the little things. No, it's a fun sleepover movie that you're just going to like giggle at.
Yeah, but that's what we're here to do. We are here to overanalyze it and talk about it and stuff. Because those points that you made about it being like a satire, and then like the music was only played like the only time the old music was actually played was like this meaning, and like that's why and stuff makes the writing better. Because I watch it and I'm like, so this dude wrote this in one sitting and just was like, yeah, perfect, yeah, okay, met that trope. Like he had a checklist of tropes and just did that. But now it seems like he did spend some time with it. It's not that simple. And it's not that simple. Yeah, it's like he's like, but he tailors it to where it is enjoyable. But if you look a little bit, there is something under the surface. Like there is a little bit more thought to it. Still do think that the characters he just didn't care about because they don't grow and stuff. And the main message is like being popular is so important, and now she's a legend and she's popular and she's not invisible anymore. And like that's the most important thing ever in high school. You know what I mean? Which isn't great.
Yeah.
The journey to get there is fun to watch, but I don't think that's what's up. You know what I'm saying?
So you're still standing by what you said. You don't think it's a good movie?
I mean, you've definitely made some compelling points.
I was going to say, every point that I made, you're like, oh, actually,
no, like
you're right. You made me like it more.
2 or 3 points. 2 or 3 points. Not every. That point doesn't even matter. I had that the narration is kind of annoying.
I think it works.
I think it would work if they either didn't do it at all or did it more, because like she does it a lot in the beginning
and the end.
In the end, which is typical, but
yeah,
like
I was gonna say that it's kind of
it is kind of typical, but like
whatever.
Keep it up a little bit more throughout. I don't know, like
you think it's necessary throughout? Like we don't really need it unless she's explaining something.
In some scenarios, I mean, I guess I don't know. Again, weak point.
Very weak point.
Yeah,
it works.
It works.
Anyway,
that's fine.
I think that there's a reason the audience loved this movie so much. I think it's not meant to be overanalyzed. I think it's meant to be watched and enjoyed. And it's just a fun high school rom-com with that same targeted audience. And those are the people who love the movie, which is the whole point of the movie. So it's a good movie. And we can end the debate here. Thank you, Jacob, for coming to my podcast.
Wait, what? No, what? No, you could maybe win the debate, but you don't take my show. Don't take my show from me. Oh, I'm so nervous. Now you're like,
oh, I'm confident as hell now.
Join us next time on Bad Movie Debate with me, your host, Austin Piercey. Like, Jacob will never be on again. Good Lord. All right, well, Well, I mean, I do. My favorite scene, of course, is when the vegan slut teaches her how to kiss. That's great.
Hell yeah. So you're just adding more.
Holy drama llama. Kiss her again. Do it. Which
you're not supporting your point by saying things you like about the movie.
I know, but that's one of the only.
The podcast is already over, Jacob.
No, it's not. Ending line. It's not over till I say it's.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's probably over. That was like the only point that we didn't come across.
So are you actually saying that I win? Did I win
I don't know.
the debate?
I mean, maybe. You didn't like any of my points? You didn't think any of my points were sound? I didn't make any. I didn't make any good. You don't think I made a single good point?
I think that you made fine points, but I don't think that it matters.
So you're not shaken?
No.
God damn it!
I'm not shaken.
The foundation of your argument is still solid.
Very confident
in
my argument.
All right, well.
And the fact that you are not, I think, tells us where our answer is.
Yeah, I guess, all right, well, I guess I'm throwing in the towel. Austin Piercey, you are now the master debater.
That's right.
Congrats.
And the audience wins. Boo to the critics. Because no one cares.
Yeah, I fucking hate critics anyway. But, you know, gotta get these movies on here somehow, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I reckon, since you hated all of my points and I'm stupid, your words, not mine.
I never said that. I appreciate you coming almost prepared.
Fine.
I'm putting a lot of thought behind your answers.
Of course I did.
But they just...
I will officially concede if you agree that this movie is deeper than you thought after we've been talking about it.
Maybe once we've spent an hour talking about it. I mean,
yeah, but now it's a satire about the whole genre and stuff like that. That's a completely different perspective. I didn't think, but that's deep. You know what I mean?
That doesn't mean you have to like it can be deep. But when you watch the movie, that's not the point.
I understand that, but
that's what I'm saying.
I'm officially not giving up until you say, yes, this movie is deeper than I thought.
Wow, this is the deepest movie I think I've ever seen.
Okay, I'll take it. God. Jesus Christ.
I'm so sorry. You know, I don't like to lose, and so
I'm aware, but
you have the wrong person on here.
I'm trying to let you have it, and you're just
I'm sorry. Maybe I am just a bitch.
Well, we'll let the audience decide. Follow me on social media, Bad Movie Debate, all one word, all lowercase, on Instagram and Twitter. I'll throw up a poll so you guys can vote in on what you guys think of the movie, and maybe I'll put a poll in there. Is Austin a bitch? Yes or no?
No, I don't like that.
Oh, so I shouldn't do that? All right, just DM me your opinions and everything. Real quick before we officially wrap up and everything. Alien 3. Not a lot of love out there for that. The polls they weren't as closely related as the Rotten Tomatoes 46-46 for Alien 3. It was straight up 77% bad. And I think the only person who voted that it was good was me. So I'm just trying to salvage something. Maybe people agree with me. No, they didn't. So here we are. That one's bad. This one's good. And I suck at this. Tune in next time, or maybe third time will be the charm. Austin once again is the master debater. She realizes now that this movie is deeper than she originally thought, but we must maintain that that is not the point. But the filmmakers tried a little bit harder than I originally thought, so the things that I thought were stupid make a little bit more sense now. Thanks to Austin Piercey and her unique perspective. Congratulations. What do you want to say? What do you want to say to the audience? Your adoring public, since you're the master debater.
I don't really have anything to say other than I know that they'll agree with me.
Well, there it is. Never shy about the confidence. This one here. All right, guys. Well, once again, follow on social media and Spotify. 5 stars, please. 5-star reviews only. Or whatever you feel. That's fine. Just review it in general. I don't want to say 5 stars or nothing, because 4 stars is still pretty good. And if you don't review it, well, that's not good.
Give him 5 stars. We deserve it.
Ooh. Yeah, give it 5 stars for my guest.
Get that confidence. Maybe you'll win the next debate with it. Yeah,
exactly. So I know I obviously suck, but my guests are very lovely and very smart and very great, and apparently know more about movies than I do, which is very, very not great.
You just said I know more about movies.
Yeah, I never thought I would. But you know more about this movie.
Yeah.
Let's leave it at that. God damn it. I gotta try harder next time. But yes. Oh well. Bye, y'all. We'll see you next time here on Bad Movie Debate with to be announced.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're done.
Yeah. I won.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm listening back to that and I am just gonna sound like a bitch.